Hey everyone, and welcome to another live session with me, Ben Bolter. I am a chiropractor, and obviously I'm going to be talking about things to do with back pain, but tonight's topic is going to be about millennials and back pain. Now, first of all, let me just let you all know what a millennial is, because actually I was a little bit unsure as to what a millennial actually is. So a millennial is someone who was born between 81 and 96, which technically makes me, yes, I am a millennial. I'm very happy and very proud about that. The actual one were, I know I'm going to be in a little bit of trouble because I'm doing this about 15 minutes earlier than I should be, but I've actually got another talk to do tonight, so I need to be shooting off to there as well. That one, strange enough, is also on social media. That one's on TikTok, and the influence on TikTok, or the influence of TikTok on the chiropractic profession, and specifically chiropractic. But actually, I'm expanding that into the world of healthcare and what it's actually doing for the realm of healthcare, and what it's doing for the realm of chiropractors as well. So, with regards to back pain for millennials, this is quite an easy topic to kind of talk about. As I said, millennials are someone between the sort of born in 81 to 96 bracket. Basically, there are people who end up becoming young adults in that millennial 21st century sort of time frame. The group that actually get mistaken for millennials are the Generation Zs, which are the ones that aren't using Instagram. They're not here listening to this. They are over on Snapchat, and they're on things that I've never heard of just yet. So I'm sure we'll get introduced to those at some point. But back pain for us, for our generation, starts sort of mid-20s, early 30s, where we start to sort of experience back pain for the first time. And we see this an awful lot in practice. I know I speak to a lot of people about this as well in general lifestyle circumstances. But the problem we have is that we go through our teens, our early 20s, our bounce back ability. It's actually one of my favorite words, bounce back ability. It's actually quite high. So we can go out and do sport. We can we can do so many activities, no injuries whatsoever. All of a sudden we hit 25, 30, and they just start to snowball. That effect is just snowballing its way through. Now that is simply because we're becoming less active, but also we start to lose that elastic property within our muscles as well. So we become a little bit more susceptible to injuries. But why is back pain so important? Why is back pain for millennials such a big deal, especially since lockdown? And the real reason behind that is because we're sitting too long, and we're doing too much of static positions. So this kind of leads on to what we were talking about in the last live video I did, which was all to do with desks and postures and setups at work. As we've kind of progressed, we've kind of moved into this realm where we are using, we're sitting for longer periods of time. And I always say to patients, back pain isn't hereditary. It's nothing to do with that. It's more so to do with the fact that we're not as active, we're not as mobile, but we're sitting for too long, standing for too long. We had that little victim, that devil scenario when we're talking about chairs and tables and desks, is that the problem that people suffered with is they decided to swap sitting all day for standing all day, which was almost like swapping one evil for another. And we've seen that a lot with millennials because they're sitting longer and longer and longer. Think about it properly. I had a patient in earlier who was 16, 17 years old, but her classes are an hour at a time. And then after each hour, she moves on to the next class. She's mobile each hour. But then she only gets a back ache or back pain, one of the same thing, one of the same expressions. She only gets that when she's been sat down for a period of time, which is 2 hours at home, 3 hours at home. That's because she's sitting down for a longer period of time. So the muscles are getting tighter, the joints are getting stiffer. So she ends up getting that sort of like an aching sort of sensation in her back. That is quite a normal problem to have. A lot of people end up getting to that stage where they are becoming increasingly more stiffer, tighter, more uncomfortable. So what I want to kind of make sure you're understanding is that from a millennial perspective, millennials are my age. They're the ones that are getting pain because they are doing too much of something for a sustained period of time. Whether that is sitting, standing, walking, it's just increasing. And as we get older as well, we become less mobile, we become less elasticated. We lose that elastic property in our muscles, which means we are more susceptible to getting problems. And it's not a bad thing. Actually, developing back pain is not necessarily a sign of you getting older, it's just a sign of you becoming more stationary, more static, which is kind of a bit of an indication that you need to probably be a bit more mobile. That's kind of the plan with it all. But the one thing actually that I really wanted to touch on with this talk, with millennials particularly, and yeah, I am a millennial, is going through this whole Instagram, Facebook and TikTok purchasing routine when it comes to gadgets and back pain. I am a firm believer in hands-on treatment. I am a hands-on manual therapist, and that's what I use all day, every day. I'm not a massive fan of gadgets or electrical gizmos and things like that, because I feel like it's almost like cheating. For instance, my barber will use a massage gun. So I'm more qualified, I'm more experienced, I know how to use my hands properly. Why would I choose to use a massage gun when I can use these bad boys? That is kind of what I get a little bit frustrated with when I start talking to people who have been on Instagram, they've been on TikTok, and they've bought the back bridge thing, which is kind of like it's called the backboard, which is this thing that's, you can make it more, you can make it steeper so that as you lie on it, the curve is a little bit more increased and it's more uncomfortable to lie on. It's essentially what I'd call a really, really poor foam roller. A foam roller for me is my go-to tool of choice, to the point that actually this video is being propped up by a foam roller because I have 3 in this room. So my foam roller is my go-to bit of choice. I would avoid things like backboards. I would avoid any Instagram purchase that looks like you're being sold something. So the biggest one that I had a couple of years ago was the, I don't know if you saw these. If you haven't, Google this. They're freaking amazing. Just from an entertainment perspective, something called a pranic mat, which has like little spikes on it and goes all the way around. Basically what they do is they overstimulate the skin and the skin reflex, accommodation reflex, and that then distributes a lot of the sensation, a lot of the blood flow to the area, which magically makes your back pain go away. It's not, it's just flooding the area with blood, which is essentially making it warm and cozy and wrapping it in a blanket. As soon as you get up and move around for another hour, back pain comes straight back again. So when we want to talk about all these things with regards to the gadgets and stuff, do your research, make sure you're looking into them. And if you're really cynical and you're really skeptical, then you won't be making any of these purchases. But if you're looking for a quick, easy way out, you'll probably be the person that kind of looks at them and goes, oh, I'll give that a go. It's only 12 quid, 15 quid, 20 quid. Honestly, get yourself a decent foam roller. It shouldn't cost you any more than about £15, and actually invest in your health and look after it. So as a millennial, we have to kind of understand that unfortunately, we are a degenerative species. We are going to get stiffer, we're going to get tighter as we get older. So you need to try and find this little routine you can get yourself into that is going to be more aimed around you looking after yourself. Regular massages, seeing a decent chiropractor or an osteopath, having some sort of routine that you stick to. It's no good popping in to see your chiropractor or osteopath, every 2-3 years, crippled and bent over again. You might as well have gone to see them 6 months sooner and actually dealt with the problem before it becomes painful. We need to kind of understand that a little bit more. I think more so as a population than anything else, but it's definitely something we need to get on top of. So yeah, those are the kind of points I want to touch on. Is also to do with the gadgets, not being a sucker, not buying into the things that you randomly find on social media that you might think will help your back pain, because most of the time it probably won't, and if it does, it will only last an hour or so. And also things like learning and appreciating that your body is going to get stiffer and tighter as you get older. So it's not a case that you're getting old, it's a case that you're just gonna become more static and more sedentary. Back pain is not related to age. It really isn't. It's related solely to the fact that we are sitting and standing too long. So don't ever think that it's to do with age. We have 85-year-olds and 25-year-olds that have got the same problem. It's got nothing to do with the fact that we are getting old. It's all to do with the fact that we are sitting and standing too long. That's the fact. The fact of the matter is that's the scenario. So we are a millennial, which would make anyone born between 81 and 96 feel quite good about themselves. We're not Generation Z. They are light years ahead of us, and they know how to work phones and technology a hell of a lot better than us. But millennials, it's important for us to accept that as we get older, we need to learn how to look after ourselves a lot more efficiently. So that is your take-home message. Your take-home message is look after yourself a lot more efficiently. If you have any questions, any problems, any hesitations you want to speak to me about, feel free. I'm always at the other end of a message. I probably won't get back to you immediately, but I will get back to you at some stage. So that's my little take home for this whole thing, is go straight through and learn how to look after your own body. Have a great evening. I've got to go off and do another talk all about TikTok, something I've uploaded on my phone and struggle to understand, but I'm going to give it a go anyway. And hopefully I'm talking to a bunch of chiropractors about the effects of social media on our profession. So if you've got any videos, or you've seen any chiropractors or random osteopaths or anything you want to send me videos of that you think I might find interesting, or you want my opinion on, feel free. Always happy to see what's out there, what's going on. I tend not to look too much myself because it'll annoy me most of the time, but do send me loads of stuff. And I will catch up with you next month. I don't know what next month's topic is, but we'll do something next month, and we'll hit that up as well. I will speak to you all soon. Have a great evening.